These days I don't get the opportunity to play against too many really strong players, and really strong is subjective, of course. In my case, it's anybody with a higher title, and I had the opportunity to play against a much younger international master who's active and higher rated. So anytime I can test one of my favorite openings against them, I'm going to do so. And much like the previous video we covered, this anti-Alekhine approach, or trying to avoid it, is growing in popularity. So if you're an Alekhine player, definitely pay close attention to these. Takes. And it was clear to me that my opponent's just trying to get a game. They played knight f3. This is not like a deeply theoretical approach. They just want to put their pieces on squares. So we need to question what is the most active approach to development. And a lot of the time, as we've said before, we get this type of position. And we have to worry about, say, the French bishop type problem in the long term. Here, we can fix that problem immediately, and that would be, I would say, the memory marker idea that's going to help us go, all right, I can still get the setup, but now I have an improved version of it. This is already a balanced position where I feel like black can play for a win. H3, do you want to trade? Yes or no, and why? Often, bad trades is the turn of the game when it comes to minor pieces for like the 1800 to 2000 level. So after H3, we should not be trading an active, aggressive bishop, which is pinning a knight, for the knight in this case, where white's just going to capture with the queen and get instant development and pressure. Bishop H5. If they want to break this pin, they're going to have to pay in this extension of the pawn structure. Now this is limiting where white's king can go in the future. Now knight E5, if you really want the bishop pair, you can have it, but again, I'm going to get counterplay for it. E6, C6, we've got our general setup that we're familiar with. Knight D7, the best square for the knight, challenging this knight. So if you're going to take my bishop, now's the time. Otherwise, you go back to F3, admitting that you did this for no reason, knight E5. After takes, now my rook has some activity. This is why I've held back on castling some. Knight E4 is played. This is limiting square control for me. And white's looking at the potential of, say, bishop G5. Also keeping an eye on D6, so I can't place my bishop on the most active square. So, what's the best option for the bishop? E7. And on C3, this is where it's time to come up with a plan. And being I've played these pawn structures before, I had a particular idea in mind as it's knights versus bishops. So close positions are going to be your friend, and typically getting outposts for knights. So I didn't hesitate too much to play the move G5, as long term, I would love to have a knight get to G6 where we have the flexibility to potentially hop into F4 or H4 to bother that bishop on G2, especially if white's king goes castling kingside. Queen B3 is played. Now, I didn't want to rush B5 because moves like C4, A4 could hit the pawn structure. So, solid. I'm not in a hurry to castle because I like my rook on the open H-file. So, a bit of wait and see. There's no immediate pressure on us to act. Bishop D2. And now that my rook's on the B file, I like B5 a lot better because moves like A4 or C4 I can now capture, and that rook on the open file is going to be an active aggressor in the position, and likely I'm going to pick up a pawn. Queen C2. Now that I've got some space, let's continue working with it. Queen C1. One move threats have one move solutions. So this is where my lack of tactics, defensive mindset kind of shows in these positions. And I'm giving respect to my opponent. He's got a clear threat to take my g-pawn. So my reaction in the game is f6. Best is c5. You can have it. This wasn't even in my radar because maybe you're missing something like knight d6 check in between, but nothing comes of it. So after takes, castles, we gave the pawn, but we have a wonderful outpost on d5 that can't really be contested. We have the open c file. White has all these weak pawns. Our knight could hop into f4 at some point. Machine likes this. Well, I liked my pawn, so I went f6. And after queen d1, I finally get back to the plan of when I played g5 initially. Knight f8. Now there could be some potential problems with playing knight g6 immediately, so I went king f7 to add another defender to e6. And white's feeling the need to go all out here since I've touched the king. h4. So how best can we take care of counterplay? Well, I'm going to have a pawn, and being my king is kind of open, and white has some chances to sacrifice later, trades are going to be good for defensive purposes. So if I'm comparing pawn or rook takes, rook takes. Now on g5, this is a good pause the video if you're looking to optimize and play better than I did. Now, me, I see the potential of queen h5 check, and I don't like it. I see this h-pawn as the hope for the future, that it could be a winner for me in the endgame with some support. All I need to do is trade down pieces, and that could be the be-all, end-all in the position. So I go knight g6. Did you find anything better? Now, again, most forcing, aggressive is best. f5, where queen h5, we can just block. So g6, queen h5, and now the interesting in-between move h3 to try to get them to take. They can't really take easily with either piece, so we have ideas to simplify the position. So, coming back, knight g6, right idea, wrong execution, takes, castles. Now, because of my hopes and dreams and making sure that if white didn't want that at h5 square for the queen, I'm going to take it away. There are potential sacrifices here, so I said, okay, can I allow it and survive? Let's find out. Check. So can we survive? King g7. Lots of things hanging. What's the best continuation? Knight d to f4. Getting the knights linked up. My opponent went bishop f3, showing yet again, time and time again, my students go, well, you know, he's just too good. No, everybody makes mistakes. This is a nearly 2,700 rated IM on Lee Chess, and a couple of bad moves, and this is a less than 30 move game, as resigns happen with knight d3 check. Hopefully this game was instructive for ideas in the Alekhine Defense, and for the person asking me to do an Alekhine Defense rating climb, hopefully some of these games are satiating your request, because it should be known at this point that rating climbs You used to be able to do them on the big servers, but now it's considered rating manipulation and abuse to a certain extent, and you can get accounts banned for doing it. So many years ago, I had a few, but now they have to create an extra account, especially, say, chess.com, to refund points, and that's a lot of trouble to put people to do. So likely, if I'm to do a rating climb, it would be on one of the not as popular servers. So just as a note. But if you have particular variations that you'd like to see, I've played thousands of games, and I try to pick out games that I find interesting or that the viewers might enjoy. So if you have something in particular, let me know down in the comments, and likely I can answer. Because there's a few people that on a regular basis will send me positive comments, questions, etc., and I try to get back to every reasonable question. So thank you for the support. Long-winded in response, but yeah, if you're still here, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it.